Jesse, why don't you hang out with anyone? It's like you don't want anyone to get close to you.
A reclusive shut-in with a powerful secret.
Anyone I touch becomes incredibly strong, to the point of being invincible. No one should have that much power.
An eccentric businessman.
Hey Elsa, think you're gonna take off those gloves today?
Moving up in the world.
Anyone I touch becomes incredibly sick. Usually to the point of death.
A mysterious stranger who knows why.
I've been following you for some time. I know what you are.
And a battle
Tell us what's going on here.
there's no turning back from.
It's all very simple. The two of you must destroy each other.
See the most disturbing film of the year. Not because of its commentary, not because of its psychological portrayal, but because it's not based on anything.
What?
I said it's not based on anything.
It has to be based on a comic.
It's not based on a comic.
It's gotta be based on a movie.
It's not based on a movie.
Maybe it's based on a show that wasn't bad, but wasn't great, but still deserved more of a chance.
It's not based on pushing up daisies.
Damn it!
How can we take a gamble on something without a fan base?
You'll just have to be interesting.
No!
Unpredictable.
No!
Not relying on nostalgia.
You inhuman monster!
Starring a black guy who was always written as a black guy.
Wait, I wasn't originally written as a white dude?
No. And a woman who was always written as a woman.
Wait, I wasn't originally a white dude?
No.
How are we supposed to cause controversy on the internet?
You have to actually say something new,
What?
relevant, and rely on word of mouth after it comes out. Face the horrors of something original. It's like a bad dream.
Oh, thank God.
Done.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy, remembered so you don't have to. In 1965, a primetime Western comedy aired on TV called Wild Wild West. And that's all you need to know. The movie has no connection beyond that. Based on the series about a duo of cowboys who get into gunslinging adventures, the movie goes for a slightly different take, with Will Smith as the lead, a steam-powered wheelchair with a drunk Kenneth Branagh attached, and a giant mechanical spider blowing up cities with fireballs. That's the big screen adaptation I would think of with a show like this.
Don't judge your house by its shutters. Now, how about windows?
Not only is this known as the worst film from Kevin Kline, the worst film from Kenneth Branagh, and the worst film from Barry Sonnenfeld for the moment, but this was the movie that busted Will Smith's success streak. After leaving his smash show and making gigantic hits all in a row, this was the first film to have us say, damn it, we have to hate Will Smith in something! Granted, we would eventually get used to that feeling, but this was the movie that started it! Did the show even have that big a following to throw this much money at it? Did they think kids were really gonna get excited for a Western from the 60s? It's one of Hollywood's biggest head scratchers. So what the hell went wrong? Well, saddle up and get ready to cry into the sunset. This is Wild Wild West. And you immediately lost me. How'd you do that? Was that a second? Was that even a second? That was amazing. What would make me want to know what happens to a man with a hubcap neck brace being chased by a plastic pizza from the Ninja Turtle toy? This movie raises questions. Like, why would I want to watch this movie? We then cut, to Will Smith making love in a water silo. Trust me, this isn't the only time a large group of people will taste Will Smith not giving a shit. That's good, LG.
I'm not working.
Oh, don't worry, Will. Nobody will think you're working when you're in this film.
Problem solved.
Hold on there, Belle. You can't just go ramming a man's personal things into some hole like that.
A family picture. Actually, this film was PG-13 before that meant PG, so you might want to change that. A stupid line. That works. But it'd just be raining black people in New York as he falls out of the silo and onto a bunch of smugglers.
Well, well, we got us a shiny.
What are you saying? The sheriff is near.
He wants to figure out where these smugglers came from, so he traces them back to a brothel where Kentucky Fried Jesus!
I'm very flattered, but I'm just not interested.
Okay, does this Western take place in progressive times, or is that honestly supposed to fool us?
Oh, I'm so sorry. That won't be possible. I have a tonsillitis.
I identify as unfunny.
Gotta be interested. You're a whore.
I work alone.
Huh. Thought you were above the obvious booby trap line, huh? Well, don't worry. There's plenty of other unfunny lines to make up for it. Like when we see how Donald Trump inspects his wives. Hey, he sacrificed a lot. And one of the henchmen chooses Klein. Oh, hey! Now I know how Michael Bay gets people to see his movies. You ever really step back and look at Megan Fox?
Now tell me, who's in that sack in the other room? Which scientist is it? Is it Dr. Escobar? Who do you work for? Who paid you to kidnap Escobar?
And tell me who's stopping me from being humorous until Bob's Burgers. Smith interrupts, but a wagon of explosions is sent hurling towards them.
Now what?
It blows up the tavern and we'll just assume they survived. Yeah, it's kind of like Batman in a death trap. Who really cares how he escapes outside of everybody? Hey everyone, I was looking for the tone. Does anybody know the tone? I'm getting kind of a Baz Luhrmann, Mel Brooks thing. Is that what we're doing? I mean, I see Kevin Kline in more obvious bad makeup, so I didn't know. Oh, we're supposed to fall for that. Well, I mean, who is that person? Obviously not Kevin Kline. Yeah, he does a dual performance in this as both the spy and President Grant for honestly no reason except to give the impression that he's great at disguises.
I am the president. I'm Artemis Gordon. How did you know?
President went to West Point. That says Harvard.
Also, you're terrible at what you do. Yeah, the comedy behind these disguises doesn't work if they're this obvious. How much funnier would it be if when he's dressed up like a woman, they hired a real woman? Like his makeup is that good. Or even if he's gonna look like himself, why not have the voice of a real woman come out of his mouth? There's like a million ways that this could actually be made funny. But nope, instead they're just like, hey, did you see Fierce Creatures? Neither did anyone else, so we can steal from that.
One day it's going to get you killed.
He talks about all these kidnapped scientists and of course wants Smith and Kline to work together because haha.
I don't need intelligence to tell me that.
No, you'd rather rely on stupidity. Look, you two are the best I've got.
Really?
Find this madman, whoever he is.
And please do so with half the props from Jackie Chan's Around the World in 80 Days. Asshole! Smith catches up with Kline's awful green screen, but Kline's awfully pointless trampoline floor leads to Kline's awfully unfunny knee slapper.
Oh, nice of you to drop in.
Do you like that line? I got it from Fuller House.
I'm just putting the final touches on my latest invention.
Comedy?
The impermeable.
Yeah, I knew you would make that. So they put a light in a man's head to see the last thing he saw before he died, and realized they had to go to a costume party to figure out who's the villain behind it.
I'd go as a government agent who's going to shoot and kill General Bloodbath McGrath.
An armed Negro cowboy costume in a room full of white Southern former slave owners.
Yeah, why did the president choose a black guy to blend into the Deep South? But per Kline's ever-expanding fetish, he wants Smith to dress up as a woman.
Afraid you're wrong. Touch my breast. Just one. Touch one.
Okay. You happy, Gordon? I'm touching your breast.
I knew it.
Wait. Squeeze it gently. Not that hard.
Let's measure the awkwardness from the faces you're making right now. You might notice a lack of laughter and an inability to find joy. You'll find that your face has entered the dazed and abandoned mode. This is when you slip into a hypnotic state of annoyance where you want to be angry, yet all emotion has been drained from you, to a point where you don't even care or remember why.
Now you've shifted all the buckwheat around.
Buckwheat? That's your problem. Now touch my breast.
Upon further inspection, we now see that your face has entered the hollow mode. This is where your mind has left your body, leaving you, like the movie, an empty hollow shell. You feel nothing, want nothing, so will take nothing.
Ooh, huh? Now that's what a breast is supposed to feel like.
Very nice.
The next phase is called the dead mode. You are physically dead right now. You have surrendered your life to this awful moment, and it has claimed you. You discover that the afterlife is bleak and meaningless.
Now touch yourself.
Oh my god, I'm hard.
And finally, we have the zombie mode. Just when you thought death was the end, it turns out to only be the beginning. The pain, suffering, and long-lasting thirst for blood will lead you on a quest to search for brains, but find none from anyone who has been associated with this movie. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. So Smith sneaks into the party where he sees a dancer, played by Selma Hayek, being forced against her will to make love to a man and even gets choked to partake in his kinky sex games. Well, sucks to be her. Off you go, Will Smith. Sometimes a bitch just gotta be choked.
What a terribly clever costume, Mr.
Jim West.
Yeah, kinda wondering why I snuck in here if nobody was gonna question why I was here.
West meets East. Merely East.
Ma'am.
Oh, by the way, there's a woman getting strangled at the end. Never mind.
See anybody that looks familiar?
Matter of fact, I do.
Her name is Joke Everyone Can See Coming, where it's actually a lady this time and not Kevin Kline in drag. It's Norwegian, I think. Give our villain some credit for having arguably the weirdest fucking entrance ever seen in a Western. I don't think Bugs Bunny could have come out that smoothly.
Don't you just hate that song?
I feel like Brana missed his true calling as a whack-a-mole.
Don't you just hate that song? Why y'all look like you seen a ghost?
This is Dr. Loveless, because every doctor with the word love in his name has to be in a wheelchair, and he seeks revenge for the South losing the war. Smith, however, plans to stop him by making obvious jokes.
I find that an occasion to stand up.
I haven't seen him in a coon's age.
For a man of your stature to keep in touch with even half the people you know.
Perhaps the lovely Miss East will keep you from being a slave to your disappointment.
They encourage you one minute and cut the legs out from under you the next.
Your mama's so fat she almost ate the black off you. Your mama's so fat you're in a wheelchair. So Smith tells Kline to meet him outside. Kline being obviously here and not here, but the film thinks we don't know that.
You're in for a big surprise when you get this one in the saddle.
Keep holding my hand, movie. Make sure I don't poop myself.
In fact, they think you're so dumb that they actually end up doing this joke twice. Maybe they think the first time they did it was so subtle that they just had to spell it out more.
Hang him!
As the crowd wants to hang Smith for touching the woman's breast, but figure it's crueler to let him hang himself. For there is a solid 2 minutes of Will Smith just talking on its own, and it's painful. It's so painful. It's like watching a flame war in the YouTube comments. Not funny, not smart, and everybody loses.
Whole drumming on the boobies thing. All I was saying to the gal was, nice dress, darling. Good to see you. My name's Jim. How's your mama?
You can actually see Will Smith's worth dropping with every joke that bombs.
The whole slavery thing, I don't understand what the big deal was anyway. I mean, come on, who wouldn't want folks running around doing things for them, doing chores? Then there was the redneck comment. First word, red. Color of passion. Fire, power. Second word, neck. Neck.
Isn't anybody gonna help that poor man?
But Kline saves him while also saving Hayek, as apparently nobody can catch up to this incredibly slow-moving carriage of non-speed. Slower! Slower!
My name is Rita Escobar. I came to find Guillermo Escobar, the scientist, my father.
By the way, if you haven't noticed yet, Hayek's performance is not exactly the most invested.
I'm a frightened, starving, half-naked young woman who only wants to find her father. Nice try, Buster. What's going on? Oh, aren't you boys nice?
You'd swear she's focusing less on her acting and more on eyeing the catering table. Like the faster she finishes, the faster she can get to that delicious cronut. But what do you expect when you look over at the director's chair and all you see is this? Yeah, he's off to figure out how not to work with Tommy Lee Jones. Branagh approaches his Confederate henchman, but it looks like the movie wants to kill itself as much as we do.
You sawed-off sadistic bastard!
You surrendered at Appomattox. So who betrayed whom?
As one half of Gary Oldman, both literally and figuratively, I need my evil to outweigh my practicality. And how's this for a joke? He kills the guy with the horn in his ear as the dog takes a look, recreating the RCA logo. That'll get all you youngins rolling in the aisles! Every minute this movie brings a new sigh I didn't know I could make. But hey, after 50 minutes of boob jokes, steam tanks, and exploding Abe Lincoln heads, let's get serious for a minute.
You saw it.
I heard about it. Week before the war ended in '65, I was with the 9th Cavalry. We discovered old folks, women, children slaughtered. They're used them for target practice.
Women and children used as target practice. Wild Wild West. When I stroll into the Wild Wild West. Oh man, this movie's really saying something. Obviously, it really earned this super dramatic, grim moment. Let's allow the emotion of this incredibly disturbing imagery to sink in. With jokes about Selma Hayek's ass, which immediately follows.
God, the curvature of her buttocks.
Not even kidding. The very next scene is just making jokes about her ass.
She's a breath of fresh ass.
You said ass.
She's a breath of fresh air.
Let's just get some shut ass.
Totally makes you forget about the whole women and children being used as target practice. Fuck. I do wish more movies would mix Pluto Nash-style humor with Holocaust imagery. You know, this film is so harsh and empty, I feel like Nietzsche wrote something about it. Well fucking said. So it looks like Branagh's train tries to attack our heroes. But Hayek, being quite the whiny little crybaby, uses the gas ball to accidentally knock out Will Smith.
Jim.
Did we miss a scene?
What a marvelous train. You don't mind me borrowing it, do you, gentlemen? Aside from a lack of wheelchair access, I find it a most comfortable way to pass the long miles from here to my laboratory.
Yeah. Try monologuing before the train leaves. I'm not sure how much of that they're gonna pick up. And then I will take this side and that side. Here you go. Sounds the pineapple. So like before, a buzzsaw flies towards them to try and take their heads off. And here I thought those collars were used to stop them from chewing off any more scenery. They outrun the saw, but the magnets seem to go haywire in their collars.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm just peachy. Can you help me get my boot off, please?
Oh.
Hey!
Oh, sorry.
All right, Gordon. I'm gonna undo your belt. I'm gonna run as fast as I can that way. You run as fast as you can the other way.
Let me make sure I understand your plan. You're going to run as fast as you can that way, and I'm going to run as fast as I can that way.
So, was there anybody left in the theater at this point? Was there any one person who was like, I want to see where this is going? I put my trust in this, that this will lead somewhere worthwhile. Even the insects who eat off the theater floor are like,
hey, where'd all the people go?
Yeah, there's usually more food on the ground than this.
Is there a reason that the projectionist hung himself with the film strip?
Could it be that this movie has something to do with it?
I don't know. Let's watch.
Gordon, I think you need to calm down.
I can't be calm. No. I'm the master of the mechanical stuff, and I have to help you. You, the master of the stupid stuff.
Well, that just sounds like she was gonna gas me.
So they escape and finally see what Branagh has been working on this whole time. A great big mechanical spider. I would cut to my Dr. Smith character doing the traditional spiders thing, but honestly, I don't think it's worth the makeup. I know it's not. So Smith and Klein try to leap into action.
You know how to ride, don't you?
Yes, I know how to ride.
A horse.
Yes, when the situation calls for something primitive.
How about now? There's a gigantic spider stomping toward our president.
And in that very moment, right after saying that line, Will Smith realizes, I said yes to the script. Look at his face. You can totally see it in his eyes. You fucked up, Will. The spider makes its way to the president with Brana steering it.
Good Lord.
That is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. They do to Will Smith what should have been done to this movie, as we're stuck with several long minutes just hearing Brana prattle on.
The wrongs will be righted, the past made present, the united divided!
Okay, if I wanted to watch Brana overact and not know what he's saying, I'd watch Henry V.
We make this as legal as possible. And personally, I like the symmetry of it.
Oh yeah, I forgot. It's a Sonnenfeld movie. So we have to have weird shots for the sake of just having weird shots. I usually don't mind, except that he's way too in love with this one angle. Seriously, count how many times they cut back to his pillow-cheeked mug spinning around like a drunk bumper car.
1776, wasn't it, old bean? Manhattan for a handful of beads. How? Wrong will be righted. The past made present. Still, personally, I like the symmetry of it.
Why would anyone keep cutting back to the same shot of a person just sitting down? Smith realizes the movie left him, so he tries to figure out a way to sneak inside the spider. And it's... just watch. Yup, a very select number of nightclubs are made very happy right now, while everyone else watches in awkward discomfort. What I love about this scene is that Brana's been addressing this gigantic crowd of people this whole time. And then he just stops out of nowhere to get horny and forces everybody to watch him. It's like if a football coach was giving a speech and was like, I want you to look deep inside yourselves and find that special cheerleader. Coach? Are you okay?
Everything stops when my pants are jumping!
Well, can we at least go?
You will watch my advances!
Hey, baby.
Well, what a nice surprise.
Hey there, I made a bunch of racist comments earlier to a man who looks just like you, but I'm suddenly gonna forget all that and say hubba hubba, oh you kid. But the breakout plan doesn't work. Well, actually it does. They just go through the same pattern of dumb lines and getting captured again. Because if it's broke, don't fix it! Resulting in Smith fighting off his henchmen while Brana destroys a random town. Huh, don't know how we didn't see that coming a literal mile away. I really should pay attention to more current events.
That's it. No more Mr. Knife Guy.
So which Game of Thrones death would you like to give this movie? Red Wedding's always good, The Poison Goblet, always a classic. Have they ever stuffed a horse inside somebody? But it's okay, because just as Smith looks like he's about to get axed off. Your guess is as good as mine. I have no idea what that was. I guess if you explain anything anymore, the terrorists win. But Brana turns into a spider himself, because that one idiot who watched this all the way through has to be punished somehow. But the machine gets out of control and walks its way off a cliff. Brana is killed, Smith and Klein are awarded by the president, and we're all reminded that Selma Hayek was in this movie, oh yeah.
I'm afraid I haven't been completely honest with you. Professor Escobar is not my father. He's my husband.
Well, so not only did she contribute nothing, like at all, but she was already taken this whole time. This quote-unquote twist is so lame that even the main characters point out how it makes no sense.
You could have told us that from the beginning, Rita. Yes.
Look at the expression on Klein. He legitimately has no idea why this was a thing. Her character, the romance, why she lied about her husband being her father? Not one goddamn answer.
Yes.
I think they cut before he grabbed the camera and stabbed anybody who dared look him in the eye. And what high joke do they go out on to end the film?
Mind if I ask you a question?
Actually, I do, Artie.
I'll share it with you when they actually give one. Comedy! That is what this was meant to be, right? This is one of the biggest high-budget cinematic question marks. At least with most bad, unfunny films, you have an idea what they were going for and it just didn't work. This is like an anti-comedy. Just scenes that happen and they're not really sure if they're funny or adventurous or dramatic, just as long as you're somehow suffering. The chemistry between the characters is non-existent, the effects are not very good, the jokes are uncomfortable at best, and the amount of dead air in between them could fill the spaces between stars. And on top of all of that, it's based on an idea that I'm sure is fine for its time and has a small audience, but very clearly had no success guaranteed in any part of it, even with all the money and celebrities. To put this comedy simply, I just don't get it. But at the very least, we know it can't do anyone else any more harm. I'm the Nostalgia Critic.
Hey, buddy, could you, use that can of Raid on me?
Sure.
God bless you, sir.
I remember it, so you don't have to.